as you know, the social media is a very powerful tool for someone like me to engage with the general public, especially with the Gen Y, or the young generation, who are very adept at using social media and frequent users of online as a mode of communication, as well as the source of information. At the same time, once you are part of that cyberspace, using that tool for communication, one of the rules of using that network for cyberspace is that it is not censored, so you have to accept good and bad. So I am philosophical about it. Fortunately, most of the tweets that I've received and comments in the Facebook are generally more positive than negative. But there are negative ones. But I take the attitude that you have to accept it in a philosophical manner. And sometimes I answer, sometimes more often I do ignore those comments because I think either they are politically motivated, or they're baseless, or they're quite frivolous.
I would like to know, as a child associate, how did you feel having the prime minister as a father? Thank you.
It was quite a daunting prospect when my father became Prime Minister. Fortunately, he took steps early on to send me overseas because he wanted me to lead a normal life and to be a normal child and to be treated on the same basis as other people. So he thought that if I were to remain in Malaysia, I might not get the treatment like any other pupil. Therefore, he decided to send me overseas. But I am also fortunate because my father never spoiled us as his children. We always were given enough in terms of our pocket expenses, but never too much for us to overindulge in the things that a child would like to do or would like to have. So, and he was always a great motivator, wanting us to do well in our studies, and every time we did well in our studies, we knew that it pleased him no end, and we used to get rewarded. We used to get a small sum if we came out number 1 in class, or number 2 in class, number 3 in class. So there was my father believed in the reward system, and he would not accept anything less than being, you must try to be the best in your class. When I was in university, I had this notion that I'd like to try to be a politician, but never in my wildest dream I expected to be a politician so early in my life, because I thought I would work for a while and do an advanced degree program before trying my luck in politics. But when my father died in 1976, I had to make a choice either I try my luck as a politician or defer until a much later date. So it was a very tough decision for me to make. But I thought I might as well try my luck as a politician. It's like jumping into the deep end of the pool. Either I swim or sink. So that was probably the toughest decision I had to make early on in my life.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm from What I'm curious about is when the One Malaysia concept was first introduced in the year of 2009, the slogan was People First, Performance Now. And then last year it was changed to Generating Transformation. This year the slogan was changed to Transformation Successful, People Prosperous. What is the significance with the changing of the One Malaysia slogans? Thank you.
The One Malaysia slogan, but actually it's not a slogan, it's a guiding principle and guiding philosophy for Malaysia. Has never been changed. It is a national philosophy that will guide us in the years ahead. Because if you study the operative words like people, One Malaysia itself is a concept of togetherness. How do you bring people together, and how do you unite people to achieve our common goals? It is consonant with the concept of nation building. People first is to remind ourselves in the government that it is all about the people that we serve, and whatever we do as a government, it must ultimately benefit the people. And finally, Performance Now is also to remind ourselves that it is about delivering to the people, because we can promise, but the people will judge us on the basis of how well and how effective we are at delivering our promise to the people. So I don't like to call it a slogan, I call it a guiding principle and philosophy for the nation. Transformation is part and parcel of us moving towards Vision 2020. So it's never replaced the One Malaysia concept. One Malaysia concept and transformation as a process are intended to achieve our long-term vision of being a fully developed nation. As you can see, Pekan has changed tremendously over the years. I can still remember it was such a quiet town back in the 70s. It was difficult to get to Pekan from Kuala Lumpur. And people in Pekan had limited access to basic infrastructure. But now, over the years, there's been a dramatic change in Pekan. And in fact, there's a hive of activity in Pekan now. As you know, we are now considered as part of one of the automotive hubs in the country. And plans afoot to Volkswagen models in the near future on top of Mercedes and the other brands. And we have an international automotive college here in Pekan that will cater for 3,000 students in a few years' time. Pekan has a University of Malaysia Pekan, which means that we have in Pekan not only university but all the other educational institutions as well. So you could say that Pekan is also an education hub because of the different types of schools there are in Pekan. You can see in terms of infrastructure, we have dual carriageway in Pekan, and this has facilitated communication, especially between Pekan and Kuantan. And there is Tanjung Agas, oil and gas development that's taking place. And if you go to the various villages in Pekan, you can see that the needs of the people are being attended to by the government. And so you can see that there are some exciting developments in Pekan, including, I believe, a 4-star hotel a few hundred yards from my home, which is in the process of being constructed by UDA. So there are exciting plans for Pekan. And in addition, we have programs for the Rakyat, including our agropolitan development and so forth. So we have big plans for Pekan, and I'm confident that Pekan will be a town that will continue to develop, and also a town that will be quite significant. I'd like to mention, in addition, I've approved some allocation for the redevelopment of Pekan museum as well, and the river front, so that we can attract more tourists to Pekan. So eventually, I think with the development in Pekan, there will be a continuous renovation towards Kuantan. And I see Pekan and Kuantan linking up in the future as one continuous development.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Sri. My name is Sri Patricia and I'm from MR Center Nagarama. My question is, some people say that they're afraid the One Malaysia concept might destroy the rights of the Bumiputera. I was curious, what are your comments on that?
The rights of Bumiputera are enshrined in the Constitution. So, One Malaysia concept is also a concept that is predicated based on the Constitution. It is not a concept that is estranged from the national Constitution. So, if people say that One Malaysia will undermine the rights of Bumiputera, then it is misperception, and it is not founded on reality, in terms of reality. What is important for us is to ensure that we are inclusive as well. In other words, we must bring all Malaysians together as one nation, as one people. But whatever we do, it must be based on the Constitution as well. So the rights of the Bumiputera are safeguarded by the Constitution.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Sri. I'm Alice Martin with the Azmirat from SMK Tempat. Dr. Sri, it would be my pleasure if you could share with us what were the challenges you faced when you implemented this program, One Malaysia.
I think the biggest challenge is that people have different interpretation of One Malaysia. So our challenge, the biggest challenge would be for us to articulate the concept of One Malaysia so that people really understand what it means. Because if you ask different people, they may have different perception or interpretation of One Malaysia. So communicating the real essence of concept of Malaysia is the biggest challenge that we have faced so far.
Salam Malaysia. My name is Muhammad bin Shamil Zaidan and I am from SMK Ahmad Pekan. Today I am going to ask you a question. I really admire the way you speak with such grace and charisma in front of the whole nation. Can you share with us some ways or tips of overcoming stage fright?
I think you should have some element of nervous energy, because if you have some element of nervous energy, then you are priming yourself to perform as well as you can possibly can. But you cannot succumb to being over anxious or too much anxiety in you. Then you will have stage fright. So it has to be something that you have to train yourself, to put yourself in that frame of mind, that when you look at the audience, you're not overawed by the audience, but you look at it in terms that this is an opportunity for you to communicate with your audience. And if you communicate with your audience, then you find that they will respond to your speech. And when they respond to your speech, you get spirited and you get energized. So that's how I have to approach public speaking. It has not been easy because I had to acquire this certain level of public speaking skills, because it's something which I think as a person one is not born with it, but it's something that one has to cultivate through experience. And every time you speak, it is a new learning experience. And over the years, I think I have developed a certain level of public speaking skills. And that's something which has enabled me to get my message across to people.
Assalamualaikum Datuk Seri. I am Ikram Fitrisha bin Ikram Shafuri from MRS Center of Razak. I have a question referring to education in Malaysia. What do you think about the education level of students in Malaysia today as compared to students in your time? Thank you.
I don't know, but whether we can compare with one students in my generation and the present generation. I think the students, Malaysian students basically are very hardworking students. During my time and even now, they are very conscientious about wanting to do well in their studies. That, I think, is something which I noticed has been the case throughout the years. Malaysian students generally study well, but they're rather passive in class. They tend not to question or ask questions, and but they're very good at studying and memorizing the facts. But if there's one or couple of areas that I'd like to see great improvement is how we can teach thinking skills among our students so that they can think more creatively. And secondly, how we can improve their communication skills, both in Bahasa and English. Because when I speak to employers, they say that Malaysian students who graduate as professionals, for example, they know their stuff, they know their knowledge, they have the knowledge on their subject matter, but they lack communication skills, effective communication skills, verbally, especially when they make their presentation. So think this is partly to do with the curriculum, and partly to do with the value system in our society, because we tend to give too much deference in class to the extent that we are rather passive. So I think we must encourage our students to have active minds, for them to be curious, and for them to have a sense of confidence, to ask questions, to make comments, and to be as articulate as possible, because that will help them when they seek employment.
Salam satu Malaysia, Datuk Sri. My name is Rasaika Binti Abdul Razak. It's my pleasure to ask you a question. As we know, Malaysia has a huge brain drain. In your opinion, Datuk Sri, how can we hasten the return of all this talent?
We have to create opportunities. To my mind, that is the main starting point. Bring back Malaysians and to retain Malaysians to work in their own country is for us to create as many opportunities as possible. And second, to benchmark these opportunities and the wages that we pay them on an international scale. Because if we underpay or undervalue our human resource, then human resource now knows no boundary. They will seek employment wherever they can get the best offer. And therefore, I would like to see wages move up. But at the same time, it has to be linked to productivity. There has to be productivity increase, but wages must also go up. Because wages go up, then people will feel that their talents are being rewarded, sufficiently rewarded, and they will want to serve in Malaysia. Our economic transformation program, for example, will create 3.3 million jobs. And I hope most of the jobs are high-paying jobs. If we have high-paying jobs, then there's no reason why Malaysians want to leave this country. Because whatever said and done, this is still the best country for us to work here, settle down here, and eventually be married here as well.